Go ahead.
Okay, what we're going to do today is, in the past few months, I've gotten into a new thing. It's casting and stabilizing, making these hybrid pen blanks, duckbill blanks. Stabilizing, you can take rotten wood, something you probably wouldn't even want to turn. You stabilize it. It's a whole process I'll get into in another demonstration, but this is just where I'm going. I mean, it's hard as a rock. And it finishes nice. That's just got some, not oil and seed oil, Danish oil, 2 coats of Danish oil, sanded to 200, and you can feel the weight difference. It really does. And anyway, if you want to pass those around, turn a pen today out of a piece of this blank. This has no wood in it. This is just a piece of resin, like you would buy from Penn State or any of them. But I really like doing it. I've gotten away from the conventional, if there is a conventional, bowls, and I've gotten away from that. I like doing small things. So I got into duck balls. And to my surprise, I got into them doing them just out of wood last year. To my surprise, these things have taken off like crazy. This isn't as pretty as some I've done, but this is maple burl and resin. So anyway, on to the, if there's any questions you have to really speak up. My hearing aids are back at the factory. Huh? Yeah. My other trip to Europe is at the factory. But, so what I want to attempt to do, I cast this last night when I found out I was doing the demo today. We had talked about it last month, or a month or so ago, but I forgot and somebody's computer was broken. So I just thought I'd call them and say, who's doing the demo tomorrow? You are. Okay. Okay, so what we're going to do here is I cast this last night, like I said, this is a piece of stabilized oak. What we're going to do, these chips, when I get this, till I get this wrong, these chips, most of it's going to come back this way, but we'll see. This stuff will chip out like crazy. If you go get too aggressive with it, it'll blow up. And you'll see as I get going, as this gets round, you'll see the streams stop. It'll stop being ribbons instead of the chip. Just like wood, try the bevel. Resin, I like to turn as fast as I can. It's going to be a nice looking ball.
That resin wear your tools down faster? Take a beating?
This stuff here, you'll be, I hope I can get through the night.
Oh, really?
This stuff will weigh your tools down in 5 passes if I was doing this pure stuff. The resin, not so much. The plastic, not so much.
So it's not the plastic, it's the wood.
No, that's not working. Stay there. It was a skew, now it's not. It's a, what do you call it, scraper? Negative wood. We're gonna make a mess. Okay, this is where I decide where I'm going to put my cullet, the piece of copper, or where I'm going to put which end. Cullet.
How did you decide which side you want?
I can't hear you, I'm sorry.
How do you determine which side you want to?
It's just what the wood's pretty. I don't want to cover it up
To call it.
too much, but I know this piece goes way to the end, so I'm going to put it here. And the only reason I'm on a manual here, I really don't need the tailstock on it, but I like to have it up against it. You know, just to support. Just check into the width. The ideal length for a pole is between 3 and 3.5 inches. I like 3.5 inches. Get this here tonight.
Can I just take a picture of that thing? Can I take a picture of that with the...
Went a little bit far, but the epoxy's gonna fill that in.
Is the collar just a piece of copper pipe?
What's that?
The collar, is that a piece of?
Piece of copper pipe I stole from the neighbor's house when he was moving out. Grabbed some pipe. You gotta look out for me. Yep, just a piece of, went up the Lowe's and bought a piece of pipe. Lot of duck balls out of the piece of pipe. That wasn't good. I'm gonna start over. Okay, doctor.
What kind of epoxy is that, Dan? Dan? What kind of epoxy?
This is just from Lowe's, the 5-minute epoxy. This is, I can talk a lot once I get this set up. This is going to take a little bit to, we'll let that be for a few minutes. We'll let that set up. If you want to talk, while that's setting up, if you want to talk a little bit about the casting or the stabilizing, basically, they went somewhere, but you start off, get some really punky, dry, spalted. In this case, it's horse chestnut. I don't know if it's American, Chinese, hybrid. I don't know. I got it from up the Clouds Hill Museum. And you get this, it's pretty dry. To get that to zero moisture, I bake it. Well, first of all, it's dry. You would turn this because it'd be around 9%, which is fine to turn at any instance. But I have a toaster oven. When you want to stabilize, you have to get it down to, or you should, get it down to zero moisture. Because the stabilizing fluid, the resin that you use, it's called cactus juice. I don't know if any of you have heard of the guy named Curtis, it'll come to me. Anyway, he's out in Texas and he's got this product. I had him make me a commercial tank. I had to buy a vacuum pump. What you have to do is, it's the same kind of a pump you would use to evac air out of an air conditioning system. like your house broke, you know, you broke a line in your house, they have to suck all that moisture and all that air out of the system before they can put the Freon in. Well, that pump does the same thing in the tank. The resin, you put your wood in, you cover the wood at least an inch or two. And what that's going to do is once you turn on that, that pump, it's hooked up to that tank with the liquid in it, the wood is submerged in. Look it up on YouTube, wood stabilization. It's something to watch because to me to do it here in a demo, it takes 3 days, the different steps. But what it does is once you turn that pump on, it's going to foam up and bubble up. It's going to suck the air out of this wood. That vacuum pump is going to suck it all out. It could take hours. It could take many hours. It'll bubble a lot at first. When you'll start to see fine bubbles coming up. Just fine bubbles. You still got to wait until there's no bubbles. Now, some guys skip the next step that I do. Once you see no bubbles, what you're gonna do is you're gonna shut the pump off, open the valve, and let air back into the chamber. What that does is it lets the wood that you vacuumed in that wood suck in the resin. And that's how this gets it. Now, the instructions that I got from Seebeck is his last name, thank you. What I got from him, from his instructions is, after I'm done vacuuming this stuff, I let it sit overnight, submerged, and it just gets total absorption. I mean, that's hard. Next process after that, you get it out of the tank, you squeeze it all off. You get aluminum foil. Here comes the toaster oven. I got it at Walmart. You wrap it in aluminum foil, put it in the toaster oven at 200 degrees. 190, 200. For as long as it takes for the core of this piece of wood to reach 200 degrees. That's what this stuff cures at. It's got to be at least 15 minutes at 200 degrees to be totally cured. If you think it's done, you take a piece out, you unwrap the aluminum foil. The aluminum foil just keeps it from running all over. You've got a pan in the toaster oven, but it keeps it not so messy. You unwrap it a little bit. If you see any moisture, wrap it back up and stick it back in there. Don't let it cool down, because once it cools down, the piece is ruined. You just got to check it for moisture. If you don't see any moisture, you're done. Unwrap it. Scrape any excess off, because, like I said, it gets hot. And then this is what you have. And like I said before, this stuff, you're at the grinder quite a bit. But it makes a beautiful product. And what I like about it when I do it straight wood, the only thing that piece, this is resin. The only thing that this piece has, I've got some carnauba wax on there. That's all that's on there. And the resin just does really, really well.
Dan, if you ever cut a piece down the middle to see that it goes all the way to the middle, all the way to the center? Yeah.
It should. All right, bingo. Did I throw the BS for about 20 minutes? Okay.
How big a piece is it?
Okay, so we're good here.
Dan,
How big a piece can you do with that?
If I had a lot of time, I couldn't do a bowl. Well, my chamber is 6 inches round. It's 18 inches high. I'll bring it in when I do the next show myself. With casting I can do. Casting takes me an hour and a half. But the stabilize, I'll bring the equipment in so you can see what's involved. But I mean, if I was going to stabilize this, sure, I can do 6 inches. like I said, but you gotta be careful, because when you start pulling that vacuum, it's gonna bubble up and you have to manipulate that valve, open and close it until it settles down. You have a gauge, I forget what it is, it's an atmospheric pressure.
25,
What is it?
it's usually 25 pounds of mercury.
Mine goes to, a good pressure is 29 and a half. I get 29 and a half with my pump.
You need 25.
30 is the tops.
Yeah, you need 25.
Yeah, that's all you need. But yes, you can do bigger pieces. I mean, you can build a chamber.
Yeah.
I mean, you can take a stainless steel saucepan, you can make with a gasket seal around it, a piece of rubber gasket seal, with a good sized piece of Lexan, and you stabilize it.
What's the primary advantage of doing that?
Well, the primary advantage of it is you take wood, it's not really, it's punky, it's dry, it's like sawdust. So now you're making it into a durable hard car.
If you make pens, I use it to stabilize it, because what I found is if you use natural wood, even though it might be dry and you've had it for a while, after a while, wood expands and contracts. Especially I use epoxy, to put it on the tubes. Expands and contracts, next thing you know, it starts to break. But if you stabilize it, then you don't have to worry about the expansion and contraction. If it finishes up, you don't have to put anything else on it. You just take your regular sandpaper and sand it all the way up, and you'll put a hard glass on it. That's what I do with this oak. I'll take this and cut it up and I'll save it.
The copper does a number on your tubes as well, that's why I'm using this. But the copper is soft. You don't want to do that too much because I will heat up that resin, that epoxy. Really, okay, that's pretty good. This mandrel is a neat little mandrel. Chefware Kits, a company called Chefware Kits sells it. And it's made just for this. They're pricey, they're about $60, but it comes with the MT2 or you can get MT1. But it holds.
You really couldn't do it without that. If you couldn't do it without that, could you? You can't.
I made one with some bottle stoppers on my pen mandrel, but you're gonna see what I do is I'm gonna taper inside with, I wanna clean it up and open up the inside of the mouthpiece, and you can't do that with, you need this end hanging off is nice to work on the ends.
I think you can close them down. I agree.
You can make these things any shape you want. I've got something I kind of like, it fits in my hand nicely. That's what I go with. Some guys like a big bulge. I like this kind of a crowning thing. I'm cheating here, but I can't see it. This I'm making right now is the landing groove. Now it's done. Normally, I would wear a respirator. It's a lot faster. This doesn't have reverse, does it?
It does.
Oh. Can't have it.
There's a
It's
switch
just
on
easy
the top.
to do. I turn in reverse. I don't know if any of you guys do that.
There's a switch
When
on,
I what, huh?
there's a switch on the top of the lathe that says reverse forward.
Oh, look at that.
Why do you turn in reverse?
Huh?
Why do you turn in reverse?
Because I can work, it's easier for me to work and see what I'm doing in the backside than on this side.
Okay, let's see.
Well, we have you see what I'm doing. See, I have to go inside here and takes them out. It's easier for me to do that than come back the other way. That's all I really want to do. Just take that, bevel that out a little bit. Leaving it out, we're almost there. I understand. I'm not trash can, I don't know what this stuff I have to do one thing, I just want to get this out of the way. I got one little, I got one little thing I can see that I have to do right now. I don't have a piece of cardboard. I didn't bring an extra piece. That's okay. We'll fix that. I better wet sand this in a minute, so I don't want to get anything on the lathe. Which was I just want to put that, because I'm going to wet sand this in a minute. I do that on my way. All right, papers. I start dry at 220. I brought some 120, but I'm not gonna, I don't think I'm gonna do it. If I'm gonna shape a little bit, I'll use the 120, like I might do right now. I really don't need this anymore. We gotta turn this down. looking for my jet switch over here. Who had the jet blade that was online? Did somebody just sell one? Oh, that was on Facebook, on Pen Turners or somebody. Somebody had a smaller jet, I think the 10-inch. Is that one the Delta for sale? Is that a Delta?
I think so, yeah.
Was that one in the April newsletter too? I thought there was a lady.
This copper is so nice because you can sand it Get it nice and true. I never go past 2,000.
Do you ever put them on a buffing wheel?
If we had time, yeah. You're gonna see in a minute, that's gonna come out pretty nice. I brought my diamond wheel and my canoe wheel, but now, I got a groove there. I'll work on that some other time when I get it home, but now for polish. McGuire's compound. Should fairly dry. I like to buy these sheets that are on the half sheets. You don't waste as much. This aluminum like it's nice to work with. I mean, it polishes up.
Is that gonna stay like that, or is that dull out just a little bit?
What's that?
Is that gonna stay as polished as that now, is that
I'm gonna get,
for the most part?
if I get another 5 minutes, we'll, if you come and look at it,
You can see it.
I mean,
in the-
that's polished. I mean,
Yeah.
that's pretty much right there, but what I'm gonna do to it to protect this wood now, sometimes I'll put some Danish oil on here. It doesn't need it,
On
but
top of the polish?
well, on top of this polish, I can put Danish oil on here. Takes time to cure. But, and then I'll canoe over that. Once you put the canoe on, you can't. But this is what's nice about than having a pen mandrel on here. You can take this on and off to flip it off and on. It's so much easier.
Is that something you would get at like Penn State?
What's that?
Is that
No,
something?
Chefwick is a company, they're in New Hampshire. Chef Wakefields, if you watch a guy named Carl Jacobson, he promotes
I
them
know
all.
how.
They're a nice company to do business with.
I was gonna bring in the fish he made, that was a few years ago, like a vase fish, shaped like a fish.
I'm sorry, you're gonna have to speak, I can't hear.
Carl Jacobson, he did a vase made out of a fish.
Oh, the guy's incredible.
I made one of those.
Now, I just did something I really didn't want to do. I hit that copper on here, and I touched this wood. You see, if you can see up there, it tinted the wood a little bit. But we can fix that. I'm gonna live on the edge. I'm gonna put some Danish oil on there for that wood.
Won't that automotive polish stop the
It
damage?
would it probably, and I hope it'll do, it'll help this wood pop more grainy. It'll
So how's it gonna penetrate into the wood?
well, I'm just gonna do it on the surface now. I'm not. Well, by rights, this should sit until, oh. This does have a check in it. I mean, this wood, you could use a coat of CA on it. I mean, you could see it darken that right up, that wood.
Yeah.
And these things, I just buy them at Harbor Freight, a carriage bolt, a couple of nuts and a washer. Got one for every finish. Good old canoe boy. Just a little bit, you don't need a lot. Because if you run it too fast, it'll pull. This is just to give it a little bit of, I'm not buffing or anything right now, it's already buffing where it was motivation. Well, I'll bump it better in now. I tell you, I put gold in here, the gold looks nice. That is red, and a red dye, a scarlet pearlex, and gold pearlex. And they gave it.
Almost looks like a flower.
I'm not a duck call, believe me. I gave these one of this guy, I thought the ducks were gonna fall out of the sky. The guy, the way he was doing it. It's a duck call, guys.